Work to lay down the pitches at QPR's new training ground in Heston has begun, with the plan to have the first team training at the new site next pre-season while the development continues. West London Sport caught up with Ferdinand to discuss the project and much more.
So it was obviously a long-running battle to get a new training ground site. You know, obviously you had to just switch sites to here, but I imagine it feels very nice to finally be out there, seeing the pitches laid down, and just to have the work sort of started, to commencing.
Yeah, no, it really feels like we're on the way now. As you said, there's been a lot of talk for many years about a new training ground, and obviously Warren Farm was the firm favourite for a long time. But it's good to see things in progress and knowing that come the start of next season, we should be out there on those pitches.
And when do you hope it will open? I think the squad are going to come here sort of start next season or in the summer, right? And then obviously the work will carry on.
Yeah, so we're hoping that the players will be able to do pre-season here, because those pitches will be finished hopefully end of July, and so the first team players will certainly be here, and I think we start work on the 23s and the other pitches in April, I was told, so it won't be too long before they're up and ready as well.
I just wondered if you could talk a bit about the work that's going on today with the pitches that are being laid and what the kind of site will look like by the time it's finished, what would be included.
I don't know if you was able to see, but because there was a load of sand being blown across the pitches here, but you can see the stitching at the end there where the pitches are already being stitched, and then the grass seed will go down on that. So we're hoping, I think James was saying, pitches 1 and 2 should start out in the next month or two. So you're really excited about what's going on.
Yeah, and what else will the site include? What sort of facilities are you going to have in place?
I mean, by the end of it all, so by the start of next season, we'll have the pitches done, and the following season, then the building should be done, a 2-storey building that houses everybody under one roof.
And you touched on it already a bit, but I suppose it'd be nice. Obviously, the academy players are already here. It'd be nice to have those guys with the first team as well. That'd be a good experience, wouldn't it, for the younger guys especially? Yeah,
we've spoken about it for a long time now, about there being a finishing line. Now, when you start playing football and you're at a professional club, you want to make it into the first team, and most clubs you go to, you can see the first team maybe training in the corner. It might be a distance away, but it's like a race that you run, and you can see the finishing line. And for us, for many years, that finishing line hasn't been there for the young players, because they never get to see the first team players unless they go to a game on a Saturday. But having them here at the training ground, being able to intermingle, being able to talk to them and actually see them train will boost them no end.
Obviously the team's in a slight bit of a dip at the moment after a really good season. Mark Warburton's had to face a lot of questions about the recent results, and he's been sort of called for a bit of calmness. Sort of touched on how well the team's done this year. I mean, is that kind of a view you share? Is that how you feel?
Yeah, of course. We knew at some stage during the season, I think if every supporter was realistic about their thoughts and ambitions, yeah, of course we want to get back to the Premier League. But I think every single supporter would have said at some stage we're going to go through a dip in the season. Unfortunately, it's been against teams that we're expected to beat because of the way we've been playing. Doesn't always happen like that, and the Championship, as everybody knows, is totally unpredictable. So we've had a couple of bad results, but not losing too much sleep over it. I expected it, but I expect us to get back up and running as quickly as possible. And I think the signs in the second half of Saturday's game shows that what we're capable of doing.
Yeah, I mean, what have you made of recent performances? Maybe what's not been. Obviously, you mentioned the second half is obviously kind of what we've seen all season, and see the goal that was chalked off is obviously questionable as well. So you could have had all three. But what have you made of more recent performances? Maybe what's not been quite the same as what was earlier in the season?
Yeah, I think we were scoring goals, we were creating chances, and I think in against Barnsley and certainly against Millwall we didn't create many chances. We didn't play the free flowing football that we've played in the early part of the season that got us those chances. But that was going to happen at some stage, and sometimes you go to Barnsley, you're bottom of the league, with an expectation, we should just turn up and we should win. And sometimes that filters into the players as well. I'm not saying they did feel like that, but that can happen at times, and you get a rude awakening, and we got that rude awakening. And sometimes when you take your foot off the gas, it's pretty difficult to get it back on there and maintain it. But like I said, second half of the game on the weekend saw like a bit more of what the QPR we'd seen early part of the season.
Just a bit of transfer talk, if you don't mind. Obviously, we're not far gone from the January transfer window. Obviously, you managed to get a bit of business done. Jeff Hendrick coming in on deadline day, David Marshall, Dion Sanderson as well. You know, Mark sort of come out and said that you were looking for an attacking midfielder, that sort of number 10 creative player to kind of, I guess, provide a bit more depth in the positions that Ilias Chair and Chris Willett play. I mean, how sort of close were you to getting that done? Is it a bit frustrating that you couldn't get it over the line? Or?
Yeah, because we felt that was the one position we identified that we really wanted to bring across the line. First and foremost, there wasn't a load of options out there, and the options that we wanted, there were other people that were in the market for it, and unfortunately they probably could afford to pay a little bit more than we could. So that was a frustration, but you know, we're happy with what we've done. If we could have done another sort of like forward-thinking player, we would have done that, but unfortunately was unable to.
There's been a lot of talk about, among fans as well, about maybe you needed another striker, and that's sort of been the theme recently. Is that a priority? Were you looking at doing that at all, or?
I think we spoke about that, but the manager was happy with what he had. You know, as I said, no player comes through the door without the manager wanting it. That wasn't the position that he felt he wanted to add to in terms of his squad. It was more a number 10. And like I said, we looked around for what we needed, and we wasn't able to get the number 10 that we required. But from my perspective, I know centre forwards are key to football clubs, but the manager was happy with what he had.
Yeah, it was just a case of that, was he was just happy with the 3 guys that he had already, and just didn't feel like he needed to add another body, essentially.
No, he didn't feel like he needed to add another centre forward. Like I said, he felt more in a number 10 position because of the way that the team is set up and the way we aim to play. He felt that more times than not we were going to play with one centre forward and have those number 10s who were going to fill in those positions.
Yeah, and I spoke to Mark sort of the day after deadline day. We did a kind of an interview with him. I asked him about, you know, was there the interest there for you starter players in January? You know, the likes of Chris Willett, the younger guys, Ilias Chair, and Senny Dieng, people like that. And he sort of said maybe the interest wasn't there just because of the way the January window is. But are you expecting that to change in the summer, given how well this season's gone?
The reason that wasn't there was because I turned my phone off every now and again. You know what I mean? So I went,
yeah,
I was ignoring him sort of calls because we didn't want to lose any of our players. We've got some good young, exciting players who, I'm worried about come the end of the season, people knocking on the door and wanting to take them. We'll try and resist as much as we can.
As well as like other possible departures, you know, you've got a few players out of contract as well in the summer. I mean, I guess the big one is Johan Barber. You know, he's been a key player since he's come to the club, hasn't he? Played, I think, every game last season, didn't he? It's pretty amazing. Are you trying to tie him down to a new deal? Are you trying to keep him at the club? Yeah,
the one thing we did say to all the players was that we would make an assessment come the end of the season of where we are and what we do, and we're sticking to that, and we're true to our word. We've not looked at anyone and said, look, we've got to renew contracts. We just need to see where we are. Come the end of the season.
So no sort of final decisions out. Same for like Albert Adoma and Lee Wallace. Obviously they're quite senior players now, aren't they? 34, I think. Is that just you just sit down and look at the end of the season? Is that going to be the same with those guys?
Exactly.
Yeah, and Don Ball as well.
Yeah.